and welcome in. I'm Ann with Yall Homestead.
Hello, everyone. It is Kacy over at Ormsby Farm in the Halfway Homestead.
And I'm Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch. Hello.
Y'all, it is so funny because this opening is so short that to see everybody down below, we're all trying to like scramble to do something and say, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's crazy town.
Hello. So y'all, we are excited that you are in tonight because we have a great episode. I'm just going to go ahead and say it out front before we bring up our guests. We're talking about sourdough.
Yeah, we are.
The episode that came out yesterday, I talked about it, but I have not been able to keep a sourdough start alive in my many years of homesteading. I think Monica kind of, piggybacked on my statement. Have we kept this one alive? That is the big, drum roll please moment. Before we get into it, Anne, would you say hello to everybody that's in the chat?
I would absolutely love to do that. Yes, please. Joe, fix it for you. Hey, sweetheart. They didn't get to come in super early because I didn't put my thing up till a little bit ago. Boots and Bounty Homestead. How do Miss Kacy Boots? Tamra. L&L Homestead. Hey, y'all. Hey. And Phil Beck, thank you for being here, sweetheart. Thank you. Jersey Dolphins. He said, I'm going to be there when I was talking this morning on Tuesday. He said, I love that show. So I'm so glad to have Jersey in here. Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa, our big sweetie pies. Hey, Ashley May. Been a while. Glad to see you. Yeah, we're super happy that you're here. What about Bob? My Bob from Robin Hood Homestead. How do, everybody? Hey, Penny Ortiz. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Jackie C. Twice in one day, I caught Yall live. Yeah, well, just wait till all my buddies and pals come in here. Troy Sutton. Hey there, y'all. Hey, Troy. So glad you're here, sweetheart. It all adds up. Lori. So glad you're here, Lori. They're so kind, both of them. So kind and sweet. Miss Dallas. How do, Miss Dallas from Minnesota? Miss Dallas, we're thinking of you. Hey, Virginia Alexander. Welcome in, my darling. Lone Cross Scotty. Evening, Monica, Ann, and Kacy. Love you, Scotty. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, everyone, for coming on in and saying how do. We love that. And when you speak to each other, it makes us even happier. Kacy, we have a very special person that's going to join us to.
We do.
After
we were really lucky to have her on our episode.
Yes.
And she also is one of the OGs. And for those that don't know, that's Original Gangstas.
That's right. Okay.
OG. She is an OG. She was original OG. And that's Kacy from Boots and Bounty. And we wrangled her in to do an episode on sourdough. And she had to put up with the three of us. Actually making sourdough starter on the side. Monica, do you think we should talk about how our sourdough is doing? Should we start it off strong?
Yeah, I started off really strong. I was looking good. My sourdough was popping.
So was I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I have to say, I put the sourdough in a place where I would not forget it. It was on our kitchen table, was kind of away from heat and things like that. And I did feed it each day and watered it each day. And, I grew a science experiment that began to have gray fuzz all around the inside. It had its own little beard, so I was feeding it so well it was growing hair. So this is my sourdough tonight. It is a clean jar that I can try again. So that is mine. I grew a science experiment, but now I know. I guess I know what to do. I don't know what I did wrong. But sometimes it's The flour was a little old. Maybe that's it.
Why would you grow mold though, Kacy? Like what if your best guess and you're looking at what Miss Ann did, what would be your best guess? You do sourdough a lot. What would be your best guess on why she grew mold?
It's going to be okay. So first of all, understand the difference in the mold. There's white mold and black mold. Black is bad, white is good. So whenever you grow that gray mold that will turn black, that's bad. That means that you've gotten some form of bacteria in there, whether it is on the jar, whether it came in the water through the vessel you was pouring it in, whether it was on whatever you stirred it up with, whether you stuck your finger in it or what, I don't know. But the mold bacteria or the gray bacteria that is growing is some form of little bad germ that got in there, and there's no telling where it could come from. Most likely, it's going to be 2 or 3 things. It's going to be on the jar, it's going to be on your utensil, or it's going to be from your hands if you happen to touch it and it fall back in there or something like that.
Well, that's probable. When I stirred it, I used my finger to,
Yeah.
I thought I had clean hands, but
Did you lick your
And it
finger
don't take-
first? She was like,
It don't take but one. It don't take but one little germ,
well, I had a germ. So hey,
You have
Mom,
a germ.
so glad you're here, honey, and squirrel.
Eric said Miss Ann had dirty hands.
Isn't that awesome?
No, let me tell you, and I'm going to piggyback on you. What? Because
Okay.
I was joking with you at the very beginning because we all 4 of us had a little group chat that we were talking, and I was bragging because mine was doing great. I mean, I was having a really good one.
That's what
But
happens
also
when you brag.
where I went wrong. And Kacy, tell me if I'm wrong. I got lazy, and I always used distilled water. Water from my Berkey or water from a distilled water bottle, whatever it was. That's what I always used until I got lazy and I used tap water. And I used tapped water for 4 days.
That's nasty.
Oh,
I use tap water too.
I've used tap water before in the past and it's been fine too, but
That's all I use.
Well, let me tell you that this must be what Monroe, Georgia tap water is. Not to call them out on live, but I mean, y'all were seeing that I didn't do anything differently from the first, because this is, how long ago did we shoot? We shot, this would be 3 weeks, right?
3 weeks, I think. Yeah, 3
3
weeks.
weeks. We're 21-day-old starter.
yum.
That's rough.
Now, I joked about that I should have just gone ahead and bought some Kacy dehydrated sourdough starter, and I should have, and I did. So now I'm waiting because
It went out today.
and I'm just going to go ahead and do what I do best, which is use what somebody else started.
Oh,
You mean you're encouraging other people in their small business? I see no problem with that, Kacy.
And I will say that if you are like me, which I know there are a lot out there that are like me, and you just want to go ahead and get something from someone who is skilled and knows how to do it, the link is in our link tree. Like if you go to our link tree, which is here on the screen somewhere, Kacy's link is there. And I will tell you, because I ordered it recently, it's limited quantity. So you need to go ahead and scan now. I think there's only, 6 left, Kacy, that you have of that?
Yeah, that I have ready, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and scan if you want to. Otherwise, if you want to start, you could have this.
So now the pressure is on. You can't be screwing up my starter now since you done, got mine on the way. You can't be screwing mine up.
Well, we'll see in 2 weeks. Well,
Squirrel's World is an
We're gonna
artist.
see. Go ahead.
They say filtered is fine, but if you use tap, please off gas the water for 24 hours.
Mhm.
Do you know what that means?
I
not
don't.
a clue.
Okay, so usually like tap water, it depends on if it's well or city, but city water puts chlorine and chemicals in there. So you need to let it sit overnight for 24 hours and let all the chlorine and chemicals and stuff gas off. and they're
Oh,
just going to
okay.
evaporate. That's what that's saying.
Mhm.
I use tap water and I ain't got 24 hours, so I don't do that. I've never had a trouble with mine, but I do test my water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
about to say,
that's
Monroe,
good. So
Monica.
you think, wait, Kacy, I mean, Kacy Lady Boots, Kacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, lady boots. Mhm.
We, you ask what was wrong with mine, what might have caused my bearded sourdough starter.
So Miss Ann had dirty hands. What was Kacy's problem, do you think?
Dirty water.
It very well could be. I mean, it's still going to be the same problems. Is yours gray or green?
It looks black. It
Okay,
looks
so let me
nasty.
try to, everybody
Make it
bear
big,
with me
Kacy.
as I'm trying to make big. There's Ann.
Die.
Oh. That looks rough, Kacy.
Yeah.
Is it green?
Turn it to the side. It looks black on the sides.
Y'all, I'm trying to like get that.
Because it looks green.
Yeah. Does it make a difference, green or black?
When he turns it to the
Well-
side, it looks black on the edges, right?
I'm going to say that, yeah, it looks kind of like a greenish black. I'm going to say that what kind of water do you have? City water?
City water. Mhm.
Yeah, it says
Does it ever smell like a swimming pool?
Yes.
I don't know.
I was so used to, honestly, like before. Let me try to figure out where we were. Small. Okay, there we were.
He's going to shag carpet.
When I was at the farm previously, I was on well water. So homesteading, I just got used to how to use well water, and I got used to how that well water worked, whether it was watering plants, whether it was sourdough starts, whether it was canning. Because that's a big thing with canning too. You know, a lot of the canning police say that you should use filtered water if you're canning, which don't get me started. But when I moved to the city, we'll call the city, I have never had this water tested, and I haven't even been here a year, so I'm guessing it's the water. Because I mean, it was quick. This was literally within 4 or 5 days of it looking like this.
Also, you've got to remember when starting a new sourdough starter like there, you've got to be extra careful until it gets going, because there's not enough good yeast and good bacteria to eat the bad off. So that's why the bad grows faster than the good, and it can take over if you're not extremely careful.
Okay.
I have actually never had any of that trouble. I don't know why, but that would be the reason, is just the good can't eat the bad fast enough and the bad takes over. Kind of like your gut, when you eat all kinds of bad stuff, the bad bacteria just takes over and makes you sick. And it's hard to reverse that. And that's the way sourdough is too.
Well, let me ask you this. On mine, I mean, everybody's was kind of rising and bubbling a little bit the first couple of days. I got nothing. I mean,
and you may not. You may not. That's just a false rise. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because mine didn't for like the next week. And then the other day when I sent that picture of it all over my counter, that was the first time that it had done anything since like day 3.
Hey, Lynn. Glad you're here. Okay, Monica, your turn, sweetie.
Okay, so Ann Philbeck said, never thought of this, but can you use distilled water? You can use distilled water, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can use whatever water you want. Now, I will say, when you order my sourdough starter, it does come with a mentorship. And I'm going to ask you all kinds of questions whenever you contact me about, what's this doing wrong? What do I need to do with this? If you start asking me questions, I'm going to ask you twice as many, because I've got to find out what the problem is. Where are we going wrong? Or what do you need to change? So I did have somebody that got mine and was doing very good for about 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, for the next few days, it didn't do anything. Now, this thing is 8 years old. Okay. So it's been around a while. Oh. And so what happened is she had been using like filtered or distilled water that was like extremely pure. And what it was is her sourdough needed the minerals from her tap water. And I was like, if your tap water ain't mud, you need to feed it some tap water because it does need those minerals every now and then. And so she fed it and it like tripled in like a couple hours and just exploded all over her counter because she was keeping so much from it. So if that does happen, change it up every now and then because you don't have to be so strict and critique on what the internet tells you. Okay. You've got to change things up. So.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Sometimes you need to give it tap water. All right.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So we were right in there with you, Monica. True confession night.
Okay. So my sourdough, I did 2 of them on the live, and I did 2 of them, and then I put them on my counter, and I put them on top of the space where it gets really warm, and so they like literally started false rising. Well, by a couple days in, they started looking real nasty, and they started separating weird. And I have an aversion to brand new sourdough starter that I've tried to make myself. Tried this several times now, and so when I open that lid, if it smells like toe cheese, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm out. Count me out. I'm done. So I started again. Even though Kacy was like, girl, it looks fine. I was out. I was done. I dumped that in the trash so fast. I was like, no. And the whole house was like stanking like somebody didn't wash their feet. And even my children were like, what is that? I'm like, that was my nasty sourdough. So I started over. And this is what I have right now because this has been neglect. Okay. This is neglect, guys. This is what this is. This is just neglect. I really had good intentions, but it smells like weird flour and I can't get past it. So I prefer to make friends with people that have sourdough and take their extra starter off their hands in a friendly way.
You know, that's only going to last about 2 or 3 days and then it's going to go away.
What will?
The smell.
The smell is too much for the one day. I cannot do it. So
Tell your kids to do it.
I should. My sweet 13-year-old.
I really want you to smell mine right now. What?
Oh no, I can't. I just can't. Like, I don't even want to open this. Like, you know how much I want to just throw the whole jar away? I will not. But I've also counted my jars to wonder if I could just do without because I really don't want to even open it. And like, it's not going to smell bad. It's just, this is going to smell like just stinky flour.
Okay. What about this? What if you take like another bowl and fix water and flour in it and then say, here, go mix this for me and mix it up, pour it together and put the top back on it.
I could probably do that.
Do that for like 2 or 3 days.
I need to get my 13-year-old to help me and just get him to get through that first week. My problem is that I can't get past the start of it because I'm a sniffer and I want to sniff it to make sure it's not like bad, but I sniff all the icky smells and then I'm like, it's bad. We're going to die. So that's my problem. I'm a sniffer, guys. Okay. I'm a scab picker and a sniffer. Okay. That's me. That's me. Okay.
So
my hands are clean though, Miss Ann. My hands are clean.
Or not.
Hands or not.
I didn't grow no mold, guys. I just neglected my sourdough.
Smells like toe cheese.
So bad. I can't. Like, I
Okay,
cannot.
Squirrels wants to know what yours smells like.
A boy's locker room.
It smells like,
ew.
that's worse than toe cheese. I mean, I don't know. This toe cheese was nasty.
I will say this. Can I just say this? That when I started, this started looking like this.
How do you even have a lid off of it?
Well, okay, I needed the plastic lid that I had on it. I didn't have a coffee filter normally. I did have a plastic lid, but I needed it because I got an Azure Standard order. So I needed it for real stuff.
Yeah.
And so I put this on it.
That's why your sourdough didn't grow, because you didn't think it was real.
No, it already started turning. And my mother was like, could you just get rid of that? It's disgusting. I said, no, we have a live. I want to show that it turned into this because of Monroe, Georgia city water.
Oh,
You'd be
gosh.
calling it out.
Well, I had to throw mine out. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'll be throwing it out tonight, and I promise you, I'll throw it.
I gave mine the college try until I neglected it because I just can't with it. I need someone else to give me their baby, and then I can care for their baby. I can love their baby. I will use all their baby. I will use all of it. I will make donuts. I will make pizza. I will make all the things. I just cannot start it from scratch because that beginner flour funk and not for me.
Well, apparently the three of us need to get Casey's sourdough starter.
I've already done it. Mine should be coming to me in about a day or so. 2 days.
There you go. Boom.
And I'm going to be blowing Casey's phone up because
we're looking forward to
ship.
We're looking forward to seeing what it looks like in December, Kacy. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna give you a whole month, bud. I'm gonna give you 6 weeks.
Mess hers up, so
I want to see what that sourdough looks like in 6 weeks. Like first week of December, I want to see it. So get it ready. I'm gonna be ready.
Virginia's comment.
What is she?
I wouldn't reuse that container.
No, this will be mine. It looks funky too, but mine will be used several times.
Mine.
Yeah, probably yours, Kacy. But you be rinsing that out you need to wash that out like 5 times.
No, this is gonna be thrown away. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I counted my jars.
yeah,
I'm okay losing one.
Yeah, this is like one of those things. Yeah, this is like when my son comes out the bathroom and I'm like, "Did you wash your hands like 5 times?" This one gonna be washed like 5 times. Like, get that
use a mayonnaise jar or something whenever you do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Look at yours. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's all hungry and stuff. But yeah, okay. So this was my intention. If y'all had cooperated correctly.
She had no idea.
We tried. I really.
So I wanted everyone to make one, and Monica made 2, and I made 2. So we did one.
3.
3. Okay, 3. You get extra credit.
I failed at 3.
So I wanted. We did the one that was measured on the scale, and then we freelanced one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember which one was which now at this point. But what I wanted to do at this point was to show and tell our experiences, because each of us are going to have different experiences, and we're going to be at different stages of it. Well, what my story was is when I started mine, I only fed it every 3 days because I kept forgetting.
Oh,
so yeah, I fed it like every 3 days. And this has been like 3 days, and I've got a good. You see, it's done come out everywhere. It's doing good, but I've got the hooch going on.
Liquid on top, like you do, Monica.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just hungry. Like I was explaining when we did the live, is whenever it sits there and it's not eating, it's not being fed, it gets heavy, it gets hungry, so it sinks. And it separates from the water. The flour goes down and the water comes up. And that's where you get the water on top. This is just hungry. Okay. So when I feed this, it's going to start bubbling and it's going to come back alive and it's going to do good. Even though I've only fed this thing like 6 times in the last 3 weeks, it's active now. And that's kind of what the experience I wanted was to see who followed the rules strictly, who didn't, who measured, who didn't. I wanted to kind of us to have our own stories to kind of compare and show people that you can really do whatever your timing allows for.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever you want to. These are active because they've been bubbling over,
Yeah.
Now I will tell you, Kacy, I was processing my experience for the 3 weeks until I used Monroe, Georgia city water. And I measured every time, and I noticed with the flour that I use, which is I use a unbleached, fine,
unenriched
bread flour from as your standard. I did have to add a little bit more flour than I did water each time because it did get not biscuity, I guess is the professional way of saying it.
Yeah, that's very professional.
Yeah, it wasn't the biscuity consistency. So I did add more flour, usually like 2 to 3 ounces. But it truly was that time that I stopped using distilled water and I used city water from the tap that set me down because I thought I was going to come up here today and I was going to poo-poo all over Ann and Monica and be like, Mine's still alive. Yours is not. And y'all see what mine looks like. So.
Well, you kind of got to find your groove. Now, you can't use tap water. You're going to need to use some kind of filtered water or something like that. So now you know that. And that may have been the issue the whole time. It may have been something different last time. You just didn't figure it out. That's why it, not biscuity.
There you go.
That's why you've got to kind of do your own environment, because this is going to be a result of your environment. It's not going to be my environment. If you order mine, you're going to get my starter and my yeast, but it's going to grow in your environment. So you've kind of got to see what makes it work. Now, I, for one, know that I cannot feed my starters here in my house bread flour, because they won't do anything. They won't grow.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
That's just me personally, and it may be somebody else out there. It may be somebody that can't use Walmart all-purpose flour where somebody else can. It just all depends on you and your starter and your environment and how healthy it is, or what it likes or what it don't like, or it might like to be thicker, or like biscuity. It might like to be a little more watery. It's just all in how your yeast wants to be. And that's something you have to learn. So when you do buy my starter, it does come with a mentorship. And I do tell you, because I give recipes. There's like 8 to 10 recipes with each starter. I have a regular all-purpose and I have an einkorn starter. And so when you get my mentorship, if you actually read the directions, it says in there, if you read the directions word for word, it says in there, do not make bread for at least after the first 2 weeks, because I need you to learn the starter and how it's going to act, because that's not something I can tell you. I can tell you every day, make it look like biscuit dough, but your yeast in your environment may not like it that thick. You have to learn your starter, and you have to learn what it likes and how it's going to get strong, and different things like that. Because if you just rehydrate it in 3 days and you want to make bread, which you can, if you know how to handle a starter, you can in 3 days make bread with my starter. But you might end up with chicken feed, because it's going to be hard as a rock and it's going to be a Frisbee, and you might have to grind it up and give it to the chickens. So
oh gosh,
you have to learn how to work it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I tell everybody that has my mentorship, do not do anything with that starter except cookies, pancakes, tortillas, brownies, cakes, anything like that, except bread, because you've got to learn your starter before you make bread.
Okay. And so your starter comes, how does it, if I were to order it tonight and it arrived like Kacy did, arrives in a couple of days.
It's dehydrated, right?
It comes in this.
Freeze dried.
It's freeze dried.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it'll come in a little package like this.
Okay.
And this is 10 grams of freeze dried starter, which is going to be roughly a little less than a quarter cup. Once you add the water to it, it's going to be probably about 1/8 of a cup. And that's to get you started. And then I tell you what to do on this. This gives a little introduction. And then I go into day 1. And then on the back, we go into day 2 and day 3.
Wow.
And then on day 4, you should be ready. And then here's some notes that I can, kind of explain things, because like people say double in size, and I didn't realize this until I started selling sourdough and teaching people sourdough. There's a lot of people out there that when you say double in size, they think it's going to be twice as much sourdough starter.
Yeah. And
I didn't realize that. And so I put in my notes on there, when people say let it double in size, that doesn't mean that you are creating twice as much. It's just it's going to fill up with bubbles. And if you heard me on the the podcast, we were talking about how they're already laughing. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, Africa's Jersey says, note to self, never purchase sourdough from Miss Ann Kacy, Monica.
This case,
Yeah, not Lady Boots Kacy.
Yeah.
Lady Boots is the bomb. She's amazing.
Well, there are 2 questions too, so don't forget those, Kacy, to put those up.
So real quick, whenever you are feeding your starter and it starts bubbling, that's because the good bacteria is eating the flour and it farts. It's going to make bubbles. And so when it rises, it's filling up with air. And so when you stir it, it's going to go right back down. So I learned that a lot of people were thinking that when you fed the starter, that it's going to have twice as much in it. And I was like, that just blew my mind. But I explained that, like little stuff like that in my notes on my instructions that come with it.
That was smart. That was smart.
Yeah, and that's phenomenal. You don't get that with all these things. You know, if you buy a sourdough on Amazon, you're not going to get that. This is the best way to get it, especially because not only are you supporting a small business, but you're getting a mentorship with it, and that is priceless. That is beyond the simple $20 or whatever you're going to spend. That's amazing.
And also, I will keep people informed, because I will be getting mine, and I'll kind of keep everyone informed on the live of how it looks.
Oh, I'm gonna be checking in.
Monica will. Monica's going to be like, hey, how's that jar? Let's see that jar. Show it on live.
Let's see
I'm not going to kill Lady Boots sourdough start. But I want to pull up some of these questions before we sign off for the evening. This one, Kacy, does humidity play a part in how it turns out? Question mark.
The starter or the bread, Jesse?
Like when you're doing the starter, I think. Like when the starter is really moving and going, does humidity
very minimal, I believe, because I'm in Tennessee and y'all are down there, y'all are hot too. I've never had trouble with it, but I've never been anywhere without humidity. So it's kind of those things. If you start it yourself, then you learn it. And if you buy from someone else, then you have to learn how it's going to act in your house, in your environment. And you might have to add a little more water. You may have to add a little more flour. It kind of just all depends. And that's one thing you've got to learn. And it might be humidity.
Well, I mean, this area is very, very humid.
Yeah, and George is really humid right now. So I could have blamed it on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kacy had a multitude of things he could have blamed it on. I at least owned it and said that I failed it because I was a slacker. Kacy would just be going around the world blaming everybody else for his. So.
Well, at least it wasn't because you had dirty hands.
See, I was bougie. I wore gloves.
Excuse me.
I brought gloves.
Not me. Before I had my jar started, I had my hands inside of it. Kacy's like, what are you putting your hands in your jar for? I was like, oh, my bad. I'm like wiping my hands around it. And she's like, what are you doing? I didn't get no mold because my hands are clean.
Oh, gosh.
Monica washes her hands. Whoop, whoop.
Well, next time I'll have to use Clorox or something. I don't know.
Right.
Ashley has a question. Yeah.
The heat from the freezer. No.
Freeze dryer.
From the freeze dryer doesn't kill it? Question mark. Oh
no, I've sold over 100 of these sourdough starters, and I test it myself, and no, it doesn't. So you have to understand what happens during the process of using a freeze dryer.
Right.
And so it's going to freeze it, and as it freezes, what happens is there's a vacuum on it that sucks the moisture out of whatever you're freeze drying. So it gets an ice ring around the outside, and so once it starts to heat up, there's no water there. And so everything is dormant. Everything is just kind of like stuck in time space. And so all it does is as it starts to warm up, it does it so slowly and so minutely that everything's already dormant. And so all you got to do is just rehydrate it and wake it back up.
Okay.
I think Ashley actually does. I think Ashley does sourdough. So now I'm like thinking, oh, she's gonna be like, I need to find somebody who has this freeze dryer because this is genius.
Well, we get back genius every time. Hello, Monica, Kacy, and we would. What is it? Blue Pine.
Blue Alpine. That's another one. That's a new one.
Send us one. We will test it. We will talk very nicely.
Yes.
We will not kill the
Absolutely.
freeze dryer like we have our sourdough starters.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you choose to send us one.
That's
Well,
exactly
I
right.
do have a large Harvest Right and an extra large Harvest Right, and they're
Wow.
both broke.
Oh no. Well,
And
that's
they're both
terrible.
broke.
They're both
Yeah.
broken.
That's awful. That's awful. Well,
Not
that's
good.
really
Blue
bad.
Alpine can send me a new one.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Harvest Right
Well,
sounds
and
good,
Lady
but
Boots needs one too because she wants to prove that you're going to stick and you're not going to break.
I was about to say Blue Alpine. There we go. You got 4.
Prove it.
Influencers
Yep.
right now. What?
Prove you're better.
And that's how we're going to close this episode off right here.
Yeah.
And Blue Pine, hello, how you doing? We'd like one. But y'all, thank you for coming in to see how we have done on sourdough. This was a really, really fun episode to shoot. And I personally think it was very informative. I got to listen to it back, and it's very informative for those that really do want to start their own sourdough starter. If you're not wanting to do something with, the commercialized yeast,
Yeah.
listen to this episode. Follow Kacy at Boots and Bounty Homestead and learn about sourdough because it is really important to have that skill. We talk about skills and skill sharing on our podcast a lot. This is a really important skill
It's a
for
big prepper
baking
skill.
going forward.
Yeah.
I'm going to try again.
Yes, I'm going to try again too with Kacy's starter. So, y'all, thank you so much for coming in. Be sure you are liking and subscribing to our channel. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers now. We can literally taste it. And then come back next Monday because we have a brand new episode of Hey Bale and Friends. And who knows what we're going to be talking about? We're getting into the fall. So is the sourdough the kind of start of what our episodes is going to be going forward? Maybe. Who knows? But until then, see you next week. So bye, y'all. Bye. See ya.
Bye.